What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mets Talk here with Nico, as always. And today we're going to be recapping the series that just was with the Los Angeles Dodgers, where the Mets took 2 out of 3, shockingly. And of course, we were at the game they lost, but that's a whole other discussion. But we're going to talk about that, preview the series coming up against the Nationals and the Pirates, since we're going to do an episode.
There's the mic. My bad.
We're going to do an episode after that series, and then we're also going to talk about a couple other things. Before we do that, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're listening to the audio version, leave us a rating, review, all of that. But Nico, how are you feeling after 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers?
Oh yeah, I mean, as you said, I'm very pissed off that we were in the building, of course, for the only loss, and I was in the building for the only loss versus the Rockies. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I could be going to any more Mets games here, but off topic there with the Rockies. But yeah, the Dodgers series as a whole, I think getting 2 out of 3 is absolutely huge against by far the best team in baseball. Or not by far, I mean, but they are the best team in baseball. So to get 2 out of 3 is huge, and I'm happy with that result all day.
Yeah, I'm definitely far from complaining with that one. I will take being in the building for the one loss if it meant that the Mets were going to win the next two, because yeah, this team needed to get something going for them and to beat a competitive team for once. It's nice to see, especially with the Mickey schedule coming up. You get to just roll through, hopefully, roll through. But yeah, taking 2 out of 3, huge. But we'll start with game one. Can you say kicking the nuts with this one? Because,
Oh,
oh my God.
this is
Um,
really bad.
where do we start? I mean, I guess we start in the first inning, since the Mets actually got on the board early, which made me feel good, because Brandon Nimmo leadoff single, and then Andrew Heaney on a bunt just picks up the baseball instead of letting it go foul and says, "Out to Narnia with you," and that ends up bringing in
A
a
triple
run.
on a bunt.
Wild. I don't think I've ever seen that. Just
Yeah,
wild.
that's crazy.
Then Lindor gets hit. Uh, Pete Alonso. This is where he starts to look like JD Davis. This is where that starts the series, where he cannot hit a fastball at all.
Yeah.
And then Lindor, for whatever reason, elects to steal a base, and he gets gunned out. And then Darren Ruff strikes out.
Shocker.
Runners on the corner and no outs. And you don't score a run.
Yeah, that was really disappointing to only come away with one run there when you had runners on the corners, no one out. Pete Alonso with a bad at-bat there. Then Lindor, I don't know what he was trying to do. I mean, just some Little League baseball looking like there, going to second, then maybe anticipating Martey going for home, but just never ended up working out. And then Ruff, what do you expect, strikes out as well. So that was disappointing to only get one run there in the end.
I mean, was Lindor's idea to steal, so then you open the base for Pete, and then, well, no, that was actually after the Pete at bat, so it's not like, oh, they'll intentionally walk Pete or anything. There was legitimately no reason I could think of, because I was thinking maybe that, but no, there's no reason to steal in that spot.
Not
You
at all.
have one out. You hope Darren Ruff maybe could get a sac fly. Obviously, it wouldn't have been the case, but I mean, Darren Ruff shouldn't be playing nonetheless, hitting fifth. But that's a whole other discussion for later. Second inning, not much really that happened. The third inning is where things got chaotic again, because back-to-back hits for the Dodgers to start things off. Walker gets the next 2 outs pretty easily. Walks Max Muncy. The umpire in this count absolutely pissed me off. And there was clearly a couple that were in the zone, but sure. And then somehow he hits Joey Gallo on the first pitch. You can't be doing that. Nope. You can't.
Inexcusable.
Nope. And that ends up getting the Dodgers their first run. And then Gavin Lux gets a single, and that ends up making a 3-1 game. And all of a sudden, shit. That's what you're saying. Because, third inning and the Dodgers have the lead. I was getting flashbacks, because I went to every single game of the Mets-Dodgers series last year, and holy crap, was that a nightmare to be at those games, especially when they were getting killed. That Carlos Carrasco start was Probably
Oh
the
man,
worst game I've ever been to.
that game got so ugly really fast. I was
I ended
bad
up
to be in the
leaving.
building for that.
I left early for that one. That was a nightmare.
No
I mean,
choice. Yeah,
yeah, that was a early CVS trip. And then
100%.
bottom third, starting Martey with, I didn't think this was going out, but it ends
Yeah,
up leaving the
Mccann.
yard.
That was
3-2 game for the Mets. And then the fourth inning, Mccann ties the game with a home run, and you're feeling good. Mccann coming up big again. But then you remember that Joely Rodriguez is not talented. Okay, I should say that. That's a bit harsh, but he's been disappointing. I think that's a fair way of putting it. He's been disappointing in his tenure with the Mets, and his disappointments definitely continued as he allows a leadoff double to Freddie Freeman. Muncy then grounds out. Then you have the intentional walk, and then Gavin Lux with another single. Gavin Lux just absolutely killing us today, or in that game, and makes it a 4-3 game. And do you hear that? Sounds like the Mets offense the rest of the game. Just absolutely silent. And do you even just tell them who got the save for this one? I'm disgusted.
Jake Reed. That was insane that they brought him to close out the game. Yeah, and it was starting out good. We got a base hit to lead it off. And I thought we were gonna make the rally there. I really did, but of course, what do the Mets do as always? Give us the false hope. And Jake Reed against his former team closes it out. And Buddy was going crazy after that
Jake
one.
Reed and Paul Sewell, the two of them,
Yeah.
returning to Citi Field, both went crazy. And it's funny though to me, which we'll talk about obviously the catch for the next game. But I love how when Jake Reed did that, nobody said a word. But then when Brandon Nimmo made that catch, everyone's like, "Oh, bro's acting like he won the World Series."
I know, yeah, it's
All
dumb.
right.
Another thing that I bring up about this game, Michael Gibbons, how about 2 innings?
That gets claps for me.
No hits. That deserves a round of applause.
Yeah. My heart sunk to the floor when I saw the bullpen gate open and him coming in. When I saw his picture on the scoreboard above, but he looked sharp, and it would be nice if Michael Gibbons could get consistent, because that could change the game here. Granted, this team still does not have a lefty in the bullpen. Lugo also gave us a heart attack. But Tywin Walker, I thought he pitched a solid game.
Yep, all around, I think he was good. He gave the Mets a chance to win in this one. But then in the end, the bats went silent in the end after the Canna home run. And, they got 10 hits on the day, but I think it was just disappointing to not, rather than that ninth inning getting the leadoff runner on, than getting that double play to just seal the fate really there.
Yeah, and Pete going 0 for 4 is definitely a big reason why this team they didn't win this game, because he had the runners on the corner chance to get the game open, and there was another big spot that he came up in, and he just never ended up coming through. And sadly, it became a thing throughout this entire series. But yeah, he definitely looked off, and I don't know if it's because he can't hit lefties and they face 3 lefties in a row, but Pete definitely looked horrendous this series. There's no way around it, honestly. Got to give it up to Escobar, though, coming through with 2 hits, especially with Beatty announced earlier that day going on the shelf, sadly. So Beatty looking like he's not coming back for the regular season, unfortunately. But overall, this was a okay game. They stayed close, but didn't end up winning. Next game, though, definitely I wouldn't say I felt great, but I felt better, obviously, because they won. But I didn't feel great about the way they played the next game.
Agreed. Again, there's just the hitting. You only got production from Nemo getting 2 hits, Lindor getting 2 hits. Then it was really nothing going on the rest of the order. But luckily they had a guy named Jacob deGrom, just solid pitcher, getting the job
all right.
done.
Yeah, he's asking for $50 million, I think, this offseason. Must be decent.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, the bats were crickets pretty much. The only thing that really happened offensively this game is a Starling Marte 2-run home run in the bottom of the third. that's really about it. Then the Mets said, all right, well, we have DeGrom on the mound, so we don't have to do anything else.
Yep.
But oh no, Mookie Betts then tied the game, and you read DeGrom's lips. He was not thrilled at all with that pitch. And then in the seventh inning, Justin Turner, you thought was tying the game, but Brandon Nimmo
Oh my God.
catch, best Mets catch of the year, best catch in the MLB of the year. I mean, Nimmo's making a case to win a Gold Glove this year.
Yeah. It's really nice to see because Nemo prior was not the best fielder. We saw some slip ups in the field pretty decently often from him. But this year, he's just been making diving catch after diving catch, tracking balls really well, and just get that catch there to save the Mets a sweat there. And then just going up, grabbing it, that leap was incredible. So Brendan Nemo definitely could be in the conversation for a Gold Glove.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that video that started going around where it showed
all his bad slip ups, and then now what he's doing in the field.
Yeah, and his outs above average was like he was in the 9th percentile or whatever. Now he's in the 95th.
Yep.
Just absolutely unreal the difference that he made. And then the bullpen held it down pat. Was nice. Avino looked great. Diaz getting the live performance, which we were robbed of. That was supposed to be us.
That sucked.
It was cool to see. He'll be back for the playoffs. I think he will.
Yeah.
Especially if they make the World Series, I think he'll be back.
Absolutely. I think he will.
They need to. And then he ended up shutting the door. Trey Turner, sit down. See you when you're here as a Met next year or in October, but then as a Met next year.
Yeah.
Sits down Freddie, sits down Will Smith, ends the game fairly quickly. Mets pitching carried this one, and kind of was the same thing for the last game too.
Yep, 100%. Pitching in the series was really good against this really, really insane Dodgers lineup. I mean, there's really no easy out in this order except for maybe like Cody Bellinger buried down there at the bottom nowadays. But yeah, this Mets pitching has been incredible, and then the bullpen held it down pretty well in the series. Going into this final game now that we'll start to recap.
Yeah, and the Mets got going early, bottom of the first. They get bases loaded with one out, and Darren Ruff, useless in that spot, sadly. And the trade has not looked great. It really has not, sadly. And I'm getting worried with Darren Ruff, but he ended up coming up somewhat bigger later on in the game, which we'll talk about. Mccann, though, gets a 2-out walk, makes it 1-0. McNeil pops out, and then the second inning, the Dodgers end up scoring, and you think, that first inning, you might have wanted to score more runs, and I thought it was going to be a mirror of the game that we ended up attending, the first one of the series, because 1 out, then the Dodgers get the bases loaded, and Chris Taylor, who has been just abysmal this year, ends up getting a weird single that I thought Martey had all the way, but makes it a 2-1 game.
Yep, that sucked for sure. Giving up bases loaded 2 away. Wait, there was 2 away, right?
Yeah,
2 away, 2 strikes to go up that single. As you said, I thought Martey had that. But...
Actually, no. The second was from the runner that was thrown out there. That because Thompson tried to score all the way from first on that for whatever reason.
Oh, right. But yeah, as you said, Martey, I thought he had that ball, but apparently not. And then gets down. They score 2 runs. So yeah, it was definitely looking like a similar game as to the game 1 that we were in attendance for.
And I'm disgusted though. The Mets offense got 1 hit against a rusty Clayton Kershaw. I'm disgusted by that. Yeah. I won't lie. He didn't look good. There's no way around it. And to score 1 run, kind of embarrassing. And then the third inning, I mean, you had that delay also, which, I mean, I don't understand why Dave Roberts was flipping tables over that. Like, relax, buddy. It's the lights. Just tell them. Just ask nicely next time, and they'll turn them on.
I'm not a big Dave Roberts guy at all. I don't know. Just everything about the Dodgers despises me. I'm sorry if there's Dodger fans out there, but I just don't like your team, and you can agree with me there now.
Yeah, no, I think that it's so tough because outside the NL East, I want to say they're my least favorite team. I really want to say that, but
Yeah, like
like
would you over the Yankees?
I mean, yeah, I honestly think I'd pick the Yankees in a World Series over the Dodgers,
Yeah.
which that saying that made me want to throw up. But uh
Just pick your poison there.
but yeah, I mean I despise the Dodgers. So
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta.
I mean, part of it's also because every single time that they're in town, they fill our damn building up,
They
which
do.
it
Disappoint.
aggravates me. It
Yeah.
aggravates me.
At least have Dodger fans. Like it's like almost have Dodger fans in the building
Well,
when.
thankfully, this series was a little different than last year. For the most part, usually it's like that, but this year I feel like it was a little more Met fans this
Yeah,
year.
definitely more Mets fans. Yeah, last year I could tell it was bad. I was actually at one of those games, extra inning one, that I'm sure you were at.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that one was filled up with Dodger fans going crazy in that freaking 10th inning. So that sucked. But yeah,
yeah. That was last year. Chris Martin though comes in for the Dodgers in the sixth, and the Mets finally capitalize on a Dodgers bullpen that has been struggling. Martey gets a leadoff single, and then Lindor gets a double out to center, and that makes it a 2-2 game. You're feeling good, Pete. Striking out the high cheese again. He just again not a great series, not a great one. Darren Ruff ends up getting a sac fly, and
I
oh
thought that
god, if
even.
he struck out, all the boos that he would have got,
Oh, they would have rained in.
it would have been brutal there. But yeah, the Mets ended up taking the lead, and I started feeling a bit better because I was like, all right, the bullpen's been holding it down pat the whole series. They're not going to disappoint again. Trevor May comes in, leadoff walk. You're sweating already. Chris Taylor, that at bat was a lot closer than it should have been. He strikes out Betts, and then gets Turner out. So Trevor May, not a bad outing. Not a bad outing for Trevor May. I'll take it. 2 strikeouts for him. Seventh inning, Caleb Ferguson comes in for the Dodgers. And how about James Mccann? That's a
Hey,
round of applause.
for sure there.
Round of applause for this game for James Mccann. He actually was putting together some quality at bats, had a couple nice lineouts, which, obviously it's not Little League. We shouldn't be applauding for making contact, but we gotta take what we can from James McCann.
Yep.
So we take that double all the way. Brandon Nimmo then gets a double, and I believe this was the weird one where you had the
The
little Dodgers moment.
miscommunication between
Yeah,
Betts and Lux, that was crazy to see there. Got good thing McCann running those bases hard. And I mean, obviously you got to. Gets home, then Nimmo gets all the way to second from that. Definitely another Lowell Dodgers moment right there, which was great to see for the Mets. They needed some lucky break like that, but apparently they're always lucky. So, I mean, I guess this is just another common occurrence for them.
yeah, 100% is. I don't think that the Mets have ever actually had a good win at all. It's all been luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, starting Marte then with a single and another kind of little Dodgers moment because that throw could have been better and it would have been closer on Nimmo, but doesn't end up being the case. Uh so yeah, Mets take a 5-2 lead. You're feeling good. Diaz comes in, which I think it's because Lugo didn't have enough time to warm up, but Diaz, when I tell you my heart was racing in this one.
This inning was
Walks Freeman.
not typical Diaz.
Nope. Nope. This was 2019 flashbacks. Will Smith then hit by a pitch, gets Muncy out, but when that thing, the way that came off the bat,
The point, it
the
all
point
just came
near
together.
everything was black and white. Like I nearly passed away. And then there was almost another CVS trip when Justin Turner got that sac fly, but you thought that one was leaving the yard too. The point,
Oh, yeah.
it gets me every time. The point, it gets me every time. That point.
Same here. I'm right with you there. The point is a very scary thing for Mets fans.
Started with Robles, and then
It came on to Diaz as well.
Diaz, please stop pointing. Please stop. Gets Gavin Lockstyle, pumps 103 by him for the final out of the inning, which was nice to see. And like I said in my reaction video, if Diaz is going to let up runs, let it be in games that we win or where we have a comfortable lead, because he's not going to be perfect the whole way through. That's just the reality of it. So I'll take a little bit of a bump on the road there for Diaz just because he's been lights out, and I'd rather be in that spot. And then Adam Avino, probably who was the best pitcher of the Mets for that entire day, the best pitcher for the Mets that day, picks up 2 strikeouts. His slider just made Chris Taylor swing out of his cleats there, and then Mookie Betts, he ends up grounding out, and that ends the game. Mets win that one 5-3. So feeling pretty solid there. 2 out of 3.
Also,
And
I wanted to say, how about Terence Gore?
I was about to say that. How about
Oh
Terence
yeah,
Gore? Let's go,
love to see
Terence.
that. A huge just pinch runner to have off the bench like him. He's got fucking wheels.
I
So.
I had no idea Terence Gore was even in the organization.
Me neither. I guess we did. We signed him. I guess like before the season. He was always just down in the minors. But yeah, that's shocked me to just see him go on the bases.
Yeah, I had no idea, but it was entertaining. And this Mets win was Nimmo looked good today or yesterday. Martey looked good. Lindor looked good. And outside of that, I mean, the Mets lineup did kind of struggle the bottom part, which definitely kind of had an impact on the reason why this series didn't end up being, because the Mets could have swept the series, but McNeil definitely had an off series. Alonso had an off series. Darren Ruff playing every day was not ideal to say the least, but
Yeah.
the pitching just absolutely lights out this entire series.
Yeah, the pitching is what really carried the Mets here to 2 out of 3. Almost was able to win them a sweep, but unfortunately that wasn't the result. You got 7 solid innings from DeGrom. Game 2, game 3, you got from Bassett another. He won 6, and then game 1, you had Tywin Walker who won what 6 as well.
He went 5 and a
Like
third,
yeah,
I
the
think.
third. Yeah, but no, all around solid. The bullpen really held it down. They have been looking a lot better lately. Hopefully, Gibbons could um, build off that really good 2 innings he pitched. And yeah, overall, really happy with the series. Just want to see guys like Alonso start to do better here down the stretch because he's been just we thought we were starting to see better from him like last series, but now it's again we're seeing he's a little bit in a slump again. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but yeah, we just need to see better from him.
Yeah, and it sucks because we were talking MVP earlier in the year for him, and now it's like, yeah, no. But unfortunately, the thing that sucks about this series is they didn't gain any ground on the Braves. These guys just don't stop winning, and it's annoying me. The Rockies almost came back in that second game of that series, but unfortunately couldn't come through for us. But at least they did win the first game, so we didn't lose any ground. So I'll take that because I thought after the series it was going to be a 1 game
Yeah,
difference or maybe a tie for the division. I'll absolutely take what we got.
yeah, for sure. Like the fact that we were playing the Dodgers, they were playing the Rockies. You'd figure that there would be the ones that gain a game, maybe 2. But the fact that we just stayed at where we were before the series is completely fine by me. Now that we have, oh boy, our schedule coming up is definitely looking tasty, and for the Braves, it's not looking as good. So I'm very, very confident. I would say that the Mets could really get this division lead up and start to think about clinching the division down the stretch in the next few weeks.
I'm definitely on the more cautious side personally, just because I've seen this movie before type thing. But no, like this year I'm feeling a bit more confident than in previous years just because you don't fluke your way to 30 plus games above 500. You don't just do that by accident. So, I'm feeling a bit more confident with that. The magic number to clinch a playoff spot I believe is 19. So, they should at least be clinching a spot very soon, and if not, I mean, even if they don't clinch anytime soon, they're probably going to make the playoffs. I mean, there's no way the Milwaukee Brewers are passing the Padres, any of them. Like, there's no way of that. So I'd say they're fairly safe there, unless something absolutely catastrophic happens, which If it does, I'm not watching a game of baseball next year. It's that simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we could be in a worse spot. Could be those Phillies getting killed by the Diamondbacks. I mean, those.
Yeah, that was a brutal series for them, but they got a pretty big win yesterday. It was blowout every game.
Yeah, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, should be feasting time because they're playing the Nationals and the Pirates next. So this should be lunchtime. They should be foaming at the mouth when they see the pitchers lined up for this series against the Nationals. You gotta win the series if you're because I said this in my video. You're not gonna go perfect the whole way through, but at least play close games and win the series at the very least. Because, like I said, you're not gonna go perfect, but even though you look at the matchups and you probably should, but it's just unrealistic at the end of the day. You're not gonna go perfect. Just you control your own destiny here. Win as many games as you can.
Yeah. Look, these are Major League Baseball teams at the end of the day, but still, they just, haven't shown nearly the same as what the Mets had this season. They should definitely be winning both these series, no question. And I hope these could start to maybe heat the bats up, seeing some of these pitchers, as you said. Hopefully, Alonso can get in a groove. McNeil could bounce back from a tough series. They're going to need all their big hitters here to really be consistent here down the stretch going into playoff time in just about a month now.
Yeah, and thankfully, even right now, we have reinforcements coming on the way soon. Guillorme, I think he's starting his rehab assignment Sunday. Same with Drew Smith. Carrasco's coming back this series, I believe, as well. Yeah, he's pitching Sunday. And Tyler McGill started his rehab assignment, I think, as well. So you got some reinforcements on the way as well to help out. And I'm excited for. I don't care. I'm excited for Guillorme to come back. Huge Guillorme guy here. Huge
Yeah.
Guillorme guy. I have a jersey, so we're not playing games here. So yeah, the Mets gonna get further help with this Mickey schedule, and I just want them to try to clinch the division before the Brave series so we could rest some guys. That would be so ideal.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't want you know to come down to that Brave series and have a 2-game division lead, 1-game division lead. If we could have like a 5-game series lead to be able to just rest some guys before the playoffs start, give them like a week's worth of rest, that'd be absolutely huge. And it'd be even more actually because you'd be having the bye week. So I mean, that would be ideal for sure. A lot of rest, which I know
Yep.
is not always a good thing, but
Considering the health of some of these guys, I think it would be beneficial for the Mets. I mean, Martey hasn't been playing 100% really all year. Vogie's had that hamstring problem
yeah,
lately.
true.
You have guys that have been hurt for the most part this year. So, yeah, definitely would be nice to give them some extra rest. And MLB, by the way, just don't schedule the game on October 11th and we're okay. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, David Peterson pitching game one versus Josiah Gray. That's the game where I feel like could be a loss because with David Peterson, he's a wild card.
He is. He can get whacked around a little bit.
Steven
Peterson,
Matz
he's looked
like.
good. Yeah, he's looked good, very good on his last few starts, but you just can't trust him completely yet. And Josiah Gray's not the worst pitcher in the world. He's one of the Nationals' better ones, so he could have some trouble in this first game for sure, especially after coming off a couple wins. Maybe the Mets are gonna have like a little one of their normal off days. So let's just hope for the best.
Yep, and then game two. If they lose game two, if they lose game two, I'm going to be I'm gonna be livid. Scherzer versus Patrick Corbin. I You can't
Corbin's
lose
been a
this game.
joke
I
this year.
I don't care. This is the one game. I know I was just saying you're not gonna go perfect the whole way through. You cannot lose this game. You cannot. Scherzer, score some runs for him. It's Patrick Corbin on the other side. Please, for the love of God, win this game. I may have to take a trip to the CVS if they don't win this one.
Oh yeah, no doubt. If they lose this game, CVS is going to be calling our names big time that night.
Yeah, and if they don't score off Patrick Corbin, I'm going to lose it. And then Carlos Carrasco pitches that last game against Eric Fetty. So you have the pitching matchups in your favor, maybe except for game one, because you could argue Josiah Gray is better than Peterson.
Yep.
So there's definitely an argument to be had there, but you should sweep this series. But we've seen things before with this team, so you never know. And then I don't know how they're going to line up the pitching beyond that, because obviously with Carrasco coming back, it kind of throws things off a bit. So that first game against the Pirates, is it DeGrom? Is it Walker? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but that's probably who's lined up to pitch the first two games. Then you probably have Bassett going that last game of the Pirates series. So again, I mean, no matter who the Pirates are throwing out there, you have the pitching matchups in your favor with those three guys pitching that series.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You're gonna have your three best pitchers other than Scherzer in the series against the Pirates, and yeah, they're not trotting anyone out there better than any of those three guys. So another one where we could see a sweep, but you just don't know with the New York Mets.
Oh, if the Mets could sweep these next two series, the next pod's going to be going. We're going crazy here, especially if they could gain some ground. Because let's take a look at the Braves.
The Braves,
schedule.
I know, I think still have one or two more easy series to go here, but then it gets pretty brutal.
Yeah, they're playing the Marlins right now, but the Marlins could be sneaky to win some games. Yeah. Sandy's on the mound tonight. I only know that because I have him in fantasy. So
that'll be good.
So yeah, Sandy could maybe sneak a win tonight for us. It was so painful. Spencer Strider getting 16 strikeouts. I have him in fantasy, so I was happy because I'm in the playoffs right now. But at the same time, I was also kind of mad.
Spencer Strider.
Lucky Mets though. The 16 strikeouts for Lucky Spencer.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Marlins could maybe sneak
out a
win
or
two. Then they play Oakland.
2 games only though, which is good, and then it gets tough.
But Seattle and San Francisco and Philly, I think we can count on them to get a good amount of wins here for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Mariners are a very good team. I think they can steal 2. Giants haven't had a great year, but going into San Fran's ballpark, I think the Giants are always capable of getting some wins. And the Phillies, I think, are a competitive team. They'll be fighting for a playoff spot, so they'll have a lot of fire to go out and try and beat the Braves. So I think there's a lot of potential. The Braves could lose about 5 of these games.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I just need it to be that this series against them they're not playing for anything. It just won't be good for my mental health. It won't. Really... Let's get this wrapped up. Let's get this wrapped up already if we can. Yeah, so Marlins, help us out. We're rooting for you. Oakland, help us out. We're rooting for you. And hopefully we're talking about a couple Braves losses in the next episode. And hopefully we're talking about a lot of Mets wins. Hopefully 6. That would be nice. But I'll take 5-1 too. Anything below 4-2, I'll be disappointed. 3-3 or less, that's a problem for me.
Yeah, 3-3 is a huge problem. 4-2, I'm a little upset with. 5-1, I'm happy with. And 6-0 is obviously
we're to the moon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But I think the Mets should easily squeak out at the very least 4 games in the series, 2 series.
Yeah, completely agree there. And now we're going to backtrack. I keep forgetting to put this during the Dodgers series or during the recap portion, but we are going to discuss who was the best player of the series, and we are also going to be incorporating our sponsor here. So TickPick, check them out because they are great with saving money if you want to go to a baseball game. And just like saving money, we're going to talk about who saved the Mets this series. So saving money, TickPick is the way to go. Saving the series, Nico, who saved the series for the Mets? Who was the best player? I think there's 2 that come to mind very easily, personally, but I will go with whoever you don't say.
Yeah. For me, it's Brandon Nimmo. That was one of the 2. Yeah. Brandon Nimmo, the one big reason that sticks out, he could have potentially won a game single-handedly there in game number 2 by robbing that home run, because late tie game with the Dodgers, I'm not sure that's going in your favor. So he was really clutch with that catch there. He, over the course of these 3 games, he was hitting the baseball, getting singles, a double, and overall was really just solid in the series for the Mets. So he would definitely be my choice.
Yeah, and bonus points also for getting DeGrom to show emotion on the mound. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
definitely some huge extra credit there for Brandon Nimmo. But for me, I'm gonna go with, just because you didn't go with him. We're gonna have to start rotating, because I can't have you steal mine all the time
yeah,
here now.
definitely.
But
Next time you gotta go.
with this one, I'm gonna go with Starling Marte. He came up huge this series, getting a lot of hits, getting a couple home runs as well. Marte has just been everything we could have asked for and more with the signing. And when we signed him, there was question of how is he going to be, because he's on the older side. There's no way around it. So was he going to slow down with his bat? Was he going to slow down also in terms of in the field? And he certainly hasn't been a slouch either way. Marte has been just uh, just such a great pickup, and he was the guy we were dying for years. For
Oh
when I say years, I mean for years, like back when he was on the Pittsburgh Pirates still. And
yeah,
uh yeah, he has just been everything. And this series, he definitely came up huge. And him and Nimmo in the top of the order, just absolutely unreal this series.
yeah, for sure. Marte was great. As you said, we've been wanting him for the longest, tracking back to the Pittsburgh Pirate days. I feel like we were just always linked to him. Finally got our hands on him this offseason. And yeah, he's just been spectacular. No other way around that. Hitting the baseball, good in the field. I would like to see him at his full speed again pretty soon, because I know he's still not 100% on that end, because we know when he's a speedster, he can steal bases. So I want to just see that part of him again, hopefully soon. But other than that, he's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, he's just been by far. I mean, with Marcana, obviously an underrated signing, but Marte, yeah, just been unreal. And then I also do want to give love to a pitcher, because I'm someone that, because I know people aren't fans of pitching, but I for one am. So, granted, if you're listening to a Mets podcast, you probably appreciate everything about baseball. You're not just a casual fan here.
Very true.
You're a diehard fan. So I got to give love to Adam Ottavino. He has gone from no saves to now 3 within this past week, and he came up huge in this series as well. Having that bridge to Edwin Diaz in game 2, picking up 2 strikeouts, looked great, and he didn't allow a hit, didn't allow a walk. Same thing in the save that he got in the final game. So I got to give love to Adam Ottavino, who picked up 2 strikeouts in that game as well. Didn't allow anything. Definitely looking great, and he's gonna make it difficult for the Mets to let go of him this offseason. That's for sure.
Yep, the Adam Ottavino signing was spectacular as well. He's just thank him for being the one of the most reliable guys in this bullpen, and we can't say that about much other people other than Edwin Diaz. So every time Ottavino's in the game, you're very happy. You know he's going to do his job for the most part, and yeah, we definitely got to try and find a way to keep him this offseason.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, this bullpen is gonna get a whole rework pretty much this offseason. I mean, Diaz, hopefully they give him the bag. You
Yeah,
have to give him the bag. Just for the entrance alone, you got to give him the bag. I mean, that's jersey sales, that's trumpet sales, that's everything for you.
I can't imagine Diaz going to another team, hearing Narco coming on in the 9th inning somewhere else other than Citi Field. That would just make me absolutely sick.
Yeah, that would. I mean, Seattle fans are punching air right now since they don't have that. But I don't want to be there. I don't want them to let him go, especially because we trade Jared Kelenic for him. Granted, Kelenic hasn't been great in Seattle, but still, at the time, obviously wasn't the right move on paper or anything. So yeah, but I am hoping that they give the bag to him. And I mean, this bullpen though, I it's going to be a demolition this offseason because holy crap, who is even safe in this bullpen outside of Diaz and maybe Avino?
Oh yeah, I don't think there's much guys safe at all. Michael Gibbons is gone.
If Trevor May could bounce back, maybe they bring him back, but even then, I don't know. I think Lugo's contract's up after this year, so
really did not know that.
Either this year or next year. So whenever his contract's gone now, I mean, they could still trade him. Like, there's a lot that's gonna happen. Joely, I don't think is no way he's here next year.
Yeah, doubtful.
Unless they acquire another lefty, then maybe. But yeah, this bullpen's gonna definitely look really different. I wish it did at the deadline, but that's a whole other rant we could go into. But we will go into a bit of a rant here. With Brett Beatty on the shelf and Darren Ruff struggling, is it time for Vientos to be called up?
I would have said differently. Probably I did when we talked about this. Vientos calling him up. I said to keep him down, but honestly, at this point, do you really have an option? Like, Beatty's out for 5 weeks, which is regular season, maybe some of the playoffs. Darren Ruff has just been a joke for the most part at the plate. So you might just have to kind of gamble here, call Vientos, see what you have in him in the major leagues. Because you can't, like, when you're versing a lefty, Darren Ruff is just an automatic out. It's really despicable from him. And that was just a horrendous pickup. J.D. Davis is better than him. Plus, he gave freaking 3 prospects away. That was a terrible move. But honestly, I think Vientos, he should get a shot up here now. Yeah. Considering you didn't want to trade him away as well. I mean, like, what the hell was the point of that if you didn't want a bullpen arm?
Well, that's where my rant was going to come into play, because I just don't understand why, we have to hold on to Mark Vientos when he's not going to even play for you this year. Are you trying to win a World Series or not here? Because this is definitely the time. A lot of these guys are on the wrong side of 30, so you might want to throw in the chips here and try to get something going here. But instead, no, let's keep Vientos down because of, I don't know if it's service time or what, but I don't think September call-ups changes that. But yeah, Darren Ruff has been just not good. And I want an apology from every single person that was from the whole he mashes lefty crowd, because he has not been mashing anything. He's been swinging a string of spaghetti up there at the plate. He has not been good at all. There's no way around it. Outside of a cool last name, he hasn't really done much. Yeah, and like you said, J.D. Davis, I'm looking at him in San Francisco and wish we still had him right now. Has an 877 OPS right now, hitting 268 there, 4 home runs since being acquired by the Giants. I mean,
something we can't say about Darren Ruff.
The trade just never made sense to me from the jump. Trading prospects and J.D. Davis for a 36-year-old that mashes lefties and hasn't done anything since being a Met. Even if he was still hitting, like, say he was doing well against lefties, okay, sure. But was it still worth it? I don't think so. Even if he was somewhat half better than what he's been, don't think that would have been worth the move still to begin with. This team, again, say it all the time, they need a difference maker bat. He can't be hitting 5th when he's in the lineup. That's for damn sure. But yeah, it's time to call Vientos. 23 home runs in AAA this year, hitting 282 right now. OPS near 900, 528 slugging, 360 on base. Well, what are we waiting for?
Yeah.
Because he can't play defense? He's no worse than Darren Ruff. He isn't. I'd rather see Vogie play first base if we have to, just if it means Vientos being here as a DH. I don't care. Because if you need to get Pete off your feet or off his feet, then just play Darren Ruff then. Play Mark Vientos even at first, whatever. I think it's time. But in terms of Pete, move on to him. With his struggles, if he continues, should the Mets do a lineup shakeup a bit?
Like, what are we talking shaking up?
Broke, don't fix it thing. Well, if we're talking shaking up, you I mean, if you have a lineup in mind that might work out, definitely share with the class here. But I I guess I'll start. I
Yeah,
think that yes, I think that you could do a bit of a shakeup here in terms of what that shakeup is. Maybe you want to trying to think of how maybe you want to do this. It sounds weird to do the lineup like this, but hear me out. You go Nimmo leading off, Canna hitting second, Lindor hitting third, Marte cleanup, Pete fifth, McNeil sixth, and then maybe you go Vogie. Actually, you go Vogie or Ruff, I guess, sixth. Then you go McNeil seventh, Escobar eighth, catcher ninth. Some sort of combination like that, maybe.
interesting.
Just to shake things up a bit here, just because Marte's been producing and driving in a good amount of runs. So why not have him clean up for a bit? And then you have Pete Alonso to back him up there. So no easy out there then in the middle of that order. That's for sure.
Yep. That's interesting.
And
Don't
also, it would give
totally
Mark
disagree.
Hanna such a great opportunity because they're going to think, all right, let's pitch to Mark Hanna here because he should be an easy out, but he's been sneaky good. So,
Yeah, true. Um, I kind of like how the lineup's set up right now. Only thing I would move up Canna because they have Canna batting below the DH. So I would go Canna at the 5, maybe McNeil at 6, then whoever Ruff or Vogelback at 7, Escobar 8th, Mccann 9. I like how the top 4 is right now with Nemo, Marte, Lindor, Alonso. So just a little bit of shake up in the middle with the DH Canna and McNeil, slotting up Canna and McNeil and moving down the DH a couple. But if Alonso keeps struggling, I mean, yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Hopefully, he picks it up. I have faith he will. So I'll keep him in that 4 hole definitely for now.
yeah, for now, I don't have a problem with it. But if he struggles for this next, like, I guess, Nationals and Pirates nonetheless, I think that
Yeah,
then you really have to consider a shakeup. And it's weird with Canna because when we got him, I really had in mind that, okay, he's going to be our number 2 hitter. That's what I thought, at least.
mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Was not expecting him at 6, but I mean he's been good in that spot. So I feel like it's a good spot for him. Maybe move him up to like the 5 in my opinion, but the 2 is definitely an interesting call for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if they did want to even, keep Lindor and Alonso glued together in the lineup, you could still do like
4 or
a
5.
scenario where you move two through 4 down a spot, and then you plug Canna into the second spot of the lineup. I wouldn't be opposed to
Mm-hmm.
that, but there's a couple different combinations I feel like the Mets could maybe go with here. But uh, yeah, I mean, either way, you have an automatic out pretty much at the catcher position, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
So
And third base.
yeah, I mean, until Guillorme's back, because at least Guillorme can somewhat hit. Yeah, Escobar has just not been not been great. Not been great, and we've certainly addressed that one before. It sucks that Beatty got hurt, and I really wonder if it's the way Beatty slides because he has
I
had some
wonder that too.
awkward slides ever since coming up.
Yeah, I don't know what else could have caused that thumb injury, but he's had very weird looking slides at home plate. So I think that definitely caused the injury. I mean, I'm no doctor here, but I don't know what else it could have been.
Yeah, because that just completely caught us off guard too. Came out of nowhere,
Absolutely.
and it sucks because I wanted to see more Beatty, but nope. Let's not call up Vientos though or anything. And I was also shocked that Dom didn't get called up. I thought Dom for sure for September was going to be the guy called up.
Yeah, he's been buried down there in the minors for a while. They just don't seem to have any faith in Dom Smith here anymore. And he's just, his time with the Mets is really coming to a close here. I mean, it's already been done for a while, but he will probably see him in another uniform next year.
And it's sad because I like Dom. He's such a great personality to have in the clubhouse. But yeah, when it
Yeah.
comes to just hitting, I mean, he just has struggled. I mean, he's not doing terrible in AAA right now. So perhaps maybe they give him a call up later on. Maybe if the Mets could clinch the division somewhat early,
Yeah.
they could start doing what other teams are doing. Where Pete's shoulder is kind of a little sore. We got to put him on the IL for a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, Lindor's got a bit of a little bit. He stubbed his toe.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put him on the injured list for a bit. So they could do that type of thing if they could clinch a bit earlier. That would be nice. But uh, yeah, I was shocked to not see Dom called up, but I mean, at least they called up Terence Gore. That's my guy right there. I got a jersey on the way.
Yeah, Terence Gore is a beast.
Freaking unreal. Unreal. I mean, Khalil Lee, how is he doing? Because he's another one that I thought maybe could have been called up, but I don't know how he's doing
For sure.
in AAA. Let's quickly. Oh, yeah, he's not been good. All right, never mind on that one. Sent 214 down there with a 717 OPS. Yeah, no, not too great. I mean, can't be much worse than Tyler Naquin,
Yeah, really.
who we didn't. I don't think we really saw the series at all. I mean, except for I think one pitch hit appearance, right?
Tyler Naquin, yeah, we saw him in game number 1. He pinch hit for rough, and I forgot, was it a flyout?
Probably a strikeout.
Yeah, wouldn't be shocked.
I'd put some good money on that one. That it was a strikeout. I'll check. No, it actually wasn't. All right, but that's another thing we forgot to talk about. Buck, I thought kind of punted that game 1.
Yeah, that was surprising. Vogelback didn't come in to pinch hit earlier than he did.
I understand at the same time that what his reasoning was, where because Buck said after that he didn't want to have to waste 2 guys because if Vogie got on, he would have had the pitch run for him, and it would have just been using 2 guys off the bench there. And it sucks because if this game was in September, you wouldn't have had this problem. You would have just thrown Terence Gore in there to run the bases like a wizard out there.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have had a problem. So kind of sucks there. I mean, I think at some point the MLB just has to make it that. I know obviously they just expanded to 26, but I think 28 should be 28-30 should be the regular roster size personally. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Just give me more options.
Yeah, just because, especially with pitching too, like, I just don't think that having position players pitch at times is optimal. I think that you got to be able to. I think that they should just let more players on the roster. You get more pitchers up here, get some extra bench pieces, gives you more options there, but they'll probably never do that.
Yeah.
They clearly don't care because, I mean, the way the postseason format is just further proves that they don't care.
Definitely.
But last thing that I wanted to talk about, I got a comment on my reaction video from last night, and I read the first part of this, so I wanted to read it on the podcast here just to see what he said. Okay, so Igor says, not Igor Shesterkin, but Igor says, it's great that the Mets took the series, but this was not the Dodgers at their best. They seemed to play very lazy and lackluster, getting thrown out at the plate, lazy fielding by Lux, the miss popped up, etc. And the fact that the Dodgers did not even use their best bullpen pieces in the whole series just shows the Mets took this series much more seriously than the Dodgers did, which is understandable since LA has an 18-game division lead. And the fact that Kershaw was on a limited pitch count and leaving after 5 innings, despite dominating the Mets hitters, also helped tremendously. If these teams met once again in October, which is very possible, I would say we would see a much sharper Dodgers team and all their pitchers will be in play, especially in the bullpen, where we didn't have to face Gratterall, Price, and Kimbrel. Well, Igor, I respectfully disagree with most of what you said. In terms of the Dodgers not using most of their bullpen pieces, it's known that the Dodgers bullpen has not been great. Yeah, Gratterall's a solid arm for them, but Craig Kimbrel has not been good for them. David Price, are you seriously calling him a good arm in 2022? What year is this? Because it's not 2012. We're a decade later right now. So I disagree with the bullpen part there. The Mets taking it more serious than the Dodgers. I don't know about that because the Dodgers kind of have at stake here. If the Mets swept this series, then there is a serious conversation that the Mets could end up taking that number 1 seed, and the Dodgers aren't going to want to give that up. So I don't think that there's anything about, oh, this team took it more seriously than the other. And in terms of lazy fielding, it happens. Mistakes in the field happen, and it was like 2 or 3 plays. I mean, Andrew Heaney's just not a good player, so of course he's going to yeet that baseball. Lux and Betts, yeah, they had that miscommunication, overthrowing at the plate. I can't think of really any other fielding mistakes the Dodgers had.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because Justin Turner wasn't trying on that double play when he had that smooth sliding double play ball.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. But errors are a part of baseball. It's going to happen to every team. It's a major league team at the end of the day. They're giving it their all. It's not like they're freaking, whatever, we could just rest now, especially like, okay, if they're playing like the freaking Nationals, but like it's the Mets. The Mets are, if they swept the series, as you said, they're on their tail a little bit for that coming for that 1 seed. So the Dodgers absolutely are giving it their all in the series, and the Mets just showed out better in the end here with grabbing the 2 wins. So very possible we could see them again later in the season. So yeah, hopefully we'll see the real truth there if they were trying or not. But yeah, I'm feeling confident with the Mets and their potential to beat the Dodgers in the postseason, potentially, if they do meet in the NLCS.
Yeah, I completely agree. And in terms of the bats also, how about the fact that the Mets just had Jacob deGrom pitching? They had 3 of their starting rotations absolutely loaded. So they had Walker, deGrom, and Bassett, all of which are very good starting pitchers. So this has nothing to do with the Dodgers not trying at the plate or anything. It more so has to do with the fact that the Mets just have good pitching. If you want to, think about that for a second. And the Dodgers also, their pitching was great. Okay, if you want to say this wasn't the real Dodgers then and their offense better, okay, we've seen this Mets offense be better just as well. So I'm not willing to say that this isn't the real Dodgers because you could easily say the same about the Mets. The Mets had a lot of misplays also when it comes to in the field, when it comes to at the plate. They've not looked sharp at the plate, and we've seen this lineup be better. So if you want to make that argument, you could easily make it the other way around as well. But I think it's more so these were closer games just because of the fact that these are the 2 top teams in the National League, and they're there for a reason. And you saw close battles. Simple as that to me.
Totally agree there. 100%. These are 2 very good baseball teams going at it. Stuff's going to happen. It's part of baseball. And I'm just really excited to see what happens down the stretch. And it would be electric to play them again in the postseason.
Yeah, and I'm sure though if we end up winning around, that would be lucky. So
no
what
winning.
does it matter either way? It's just like the Rangers to me. I tweet it, but it's just exactly like the Rangers, where all it is it's lucky.
Over BS.
That it's all the garbage. But do you want us to nobody feels sorry for you, so you could keep making excuses, but these MLB players, they don't feel sorry for you. If you have injured players, they're not feeling sorry. They're going out there and giving it their all, and they're winning with the circumstances. Simple as that.
Exactly.
Simple as that. So, hopefully they do meet in October. So, that'd be nice. And I have no idea if that was a Dodger fan or a Met fan. My guess is a Met fan.
Considering the Igor.
Well, it's not like it was a Rangers profile. I think that might have been his actual name, but
Oh, really? Wow.
might have been. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing a Met fan just because of the fact that he was saying like, "Oh yeah, it's great to beat the Dodgers," but they weren't at
Yeah,
the top of their game. So I'm guessing that, but relax, relax right now. Now it's
exactly.
the Mickey part of the schedule, so the Mets got to quit the pitter patter and get at her, grab a lot of wins, uh, get get a nice division lead. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So Nationals Pirates will be recording on the off day next Thursday because it's not like there's a big series at all, so there's no reason to be taking it series by series here. And we're pretty much going to do that the whole way through, although we'll probably record after that the Marlins and Cubs series just because there's no off day there. But outside of that, thankfully, a lot of off days to get some videos up. So we will definitely get the content rolling for you guys. Do you have anything to add, Nico?
No, I just I'm hoping we come back on this podcast and we're talking about like a 5-6 game
I want
series lead.
six. I need
Yeah,
six. Give me
series
six.
lead in the division. So hopefully that's what we're talking about. Other than that, let's go Mets, and we got really 1 month here, and then Mets postseason baseball. Knock on wood, because you just never know.
Yeah, because something catastrophic could happen. You never know
Yeah.
with this team at the end of the day. But yeah, overall, I mean, I'm feeling very confident that they could get going a bit. This is the chance for the offense also to heat up. Like, if you want to talk about the schedule favoring us, how about the fact that this offense has a great chance to heat up heading into the postseason? So I'm feeling great because of these teams that they're facing. Let them get hot going into the playoffs, and that's what matters in the playoffs. Ride the high, go in on a hot streak, and go win some games. So yeah, hopefully we're talking about 6 wins. Hopefully we're talking about a bigger division lead as well next episode. So yeah, if the Marlins could be real G's and somehow sweep that series against the Braves, and we
Oh,
win all 6 games
we'll
this
jump
coming
for
up
joy.
series, we're going crazy on the pod next episode. But that is going to be it for us. Thank you so much for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a like and subscribe. If you're listening to the audio version, give us a rating, give us a review. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go, Mets.